What do we do when a toxic relationship ends? A toxic relationship is usually extremely draining. It completely depletes you. You are exhausted because you've been in fight or flight mode for maybe years. And when it finally ends, you are left in cognitive dissonance. You don't know what just happened. You need to make sense of it all, and you're extremely broken. Your confidence is usually completely broken down, and there's a lot of self-esteem work that needs to be done immediately after. So many of my clients, they ask me what to do immediately after a breakup from a toxic relationship. And what I find to be very, very helpful is that the first stage after the toxic relationship, of course, you will be in the immediate withdrawal period, because you have to look at toxic relationships as if they were addictions. So you'll be in a period where you have to just don't go back to the drug, which is the toxic person or the person that you were in a toxic relationship with. You need to just stay away and detox yourself from that love and from that person. When that stage, that's the emergency stage. So when that stage is over, it usually takes a week or two. Then the second stage starts, which is you understanding what really happened. You reading about toxic relationships, understanding the dynamics that were going on, learning about gaslighting, going on YouTube, going on social media, reading books, finding out, maybe if you can, see a therapist, work with a coach who knows about relationship trauma. Any way you can, try to gather information to make sense of the relationship. Because if you skip this step, it's going to be really difficult to properly heal from what you've just been through. You have to understand it. You have to intellectualize it a little bit. So the second step is a lot about that. It's about understanding what happened to you, what was your fault, and what was the other person's fault. What do you need to change in order to make sure this never happens to you again? And what was completely the other person's part of this whole thing that you cannot change and you cannot do anything about, and you just got to leave them to do whatever they want to do in the future. And then, of course, you need to start working on your self-esteem. You need to find out what caused me to have these blind spots. What caused me to be the kind of person who stayed too long in a relationship like this? Why wasn't I someone who immediately set a boundary when I started seeing these red flags come along? Why didn't I immediately stop the relationship and remove myself from the situation? Why did I go back? It usually takes more than one try to actually leave a toxic relationship. Very, very common. So don't beat yourself up if that happened to you and you went back. But you have to ask yourself, what was your blind spot? And again, I would compare it to an addiction. Okay? But still, you have to find out what made you prone to be someone who has this blind spot. So that usually requires you to look deeper into your childhood and some of the dynamics, your attachment style, and your relationship with your parents, or lack thereof. And then, of course, while you're going through all these steps, you cannot have contact with the person, the toxic person that you were in a relationship with. That's going to severely slow down the process for you, and the likelihood of you going back is just a lot higher if you keep interacting with this person. So don't, unless it's absolutely necessary and you have kids together or something like that, don't do it. And if you do have kids together and you do have to communicate, then the bare minimum, or communicate through someone else, because you need that time and space to find out, who am I? Because in a toxic relationship, who am I? That has been completely dismantled. You probably don't really know who you are, and you feel like you've lost yourself in the relationship. So you need to kind of regain that strength. And that's where the self-esteem work and the self-love work comes in. Extremely, extremely important. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so I can continue making similar videos for you about these topics. See you again soon.